available to the board and the public by either computer, web link, or telephone, as noted. So if you're dialing in, you can dial in at 1-669-900-6833 using meeting ID 884-0299-7895, passcode 005340. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Could I have a roll call, please?
Director Dye.
Here.
Director Lohman.
Here.
Director Clark.
Present.
Director Penrose.
Here.
Director Slater Carter.
Present.
Chair Raddock.
Here. Good evening, everyone. The next item on the agenda is public comment. This is the time to address items that are not on the regular agenda or the items that are on the consent agenda. And I see we have one hand raised. Greg.
Esteemed SAM board members and staff, I come before you tonight with a plea for action on matters great and small, ranging from 5 million gallons to 6 inches. The concerns I raise should be familiar to the board because they happened at SAM. The MCC's recent consideration of the Cypress Point development in Moss Beach with 71 additional units plus at least another 21 at Big Wave caused me to reflect on the fact that our sewer system was already overwhelmed during the storm of December 13-14, 2021, when the plant experienced periods of daily inflows in excess of the 15 million gallons a day theoretical capacity rate and caused the local overflow, which was cleverly remedied by the use of a portable pump and SAM's proactive staff. Of the 15 million gallon plus flows, a little over 3 million gallons a day came from the IPS, which leaves 12 million gallons a day to be explained. As you've heard previously, John Dowdy of Half Moon Bay commissioned a modeling study which stated that Half Moon Bay could not have produced more than 7 million gallons a day, which leaves us with the mysterious 5 million gallons of INI and untreated sewage yet to be identified or corrected. Last October, another storm brought the recently installed wet weather storage at the Portola pump station to within 6 inches of capacity. Congratulations on having just installed 200,000 gallons of wet weather storage last year, which prevented another spill. However, it appears the larger wet weather storage alternative should have been installed. Clearly, there is no problem with SAM's capacity during dry weather. It is the peak wet weather events from the climate crisis which have stressed our system. Yet, to avoid spills, it is those peak wet weather events we must address, or our neighborhoods could look like Lindemar and Pacifica did last October. I submit that when you're 6 inches from overflowing or in excess of the theoretical capacity of the plant during peak wet weather, you cannot keep adding more people and more housing without taking action on the sewer infrastructure. And I can think of 4 actions to request of SAM, and I welcome more ideas. 1, build more wet weather storage on the IPS so that more than 6 inches of safety margin exists. 2, build wet weather storage south of the plant near wherever the mysterious 5 million gallons came from. 3, stop allowing new sewer connections until action 4 is proven effective. And 4, have each agency identify and fix its infiltration and inflow problems. And to launch a determination of the best solutions, I request SAM and its member agencies immediately study the INI issues and report back, especially the mysterious 5 million gallons. I realize this request will entail costs and that ratepayers might feel those costs an unfair burden triggered by growth they did not want nor benefit from. One option to offset those costs is to markedly increase connection fees so that each new joiner pays a pro rata share of the asset foundation, which it is joining based on current replacement costs of those assets, a practice that is not yet done in our area. When I last estimated that pro rata connection fee in 2019, it would have been about $125,000 at MWSD for a combined water and sewer connection. I suggest a similar updated number can be justified upon detailed analysis at each member agency. In conclusion, I've not seen any action on the capacity matters at SAM, yet our county and state governments seem intent on forcing more population onto our strained infrastructure. Maybe we can get the state to pay for the costs, but we have to start by identifying and pricing the causes of the INI. Thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you, Greg. Catherine.
Thank you. I watched the One Shoreline meeting today, and
Sorry, what meeting?
one shoreline.
Thank you.
It is now concerned with sea level rise and other things. I watched it because I had been informed that there was going to be an agenda item to remove the outer breakwater at Pillar Point Harbor. The committee decided to not have that item on the agenda, which was fine. But I found the committee to be fascinating, and they on their meeting today, which was recorded, had a item on planning and helping cities do planning for sea level rise. But their whole focus is cities. And it seems that it's missing a huge opportunity about special districts and infrastructure providers. They said that they're predicting about a 10-foot rise in sea level from today's high tides, but it got me thinking about king tides. And one of the things that I think we should do for our groundwater, above ground water flow study is to ask the folks doing the work to include king tides and the effect of king tides can have on SAM. They happen 4 times a year. They can be extremely high, and SAM has a fairly low elevation. And it might be something that SAM needs to be looking at very seriously, in addition to the data that is generated from this one shoreline. In looking at the topo maps, it appears that lower El Granada and our stormwater basins in El Granada will be at risk. Maybe we need to start thinking about it. And as Greg is saying, we need to be thinking about further out than the end of our nose in terms of our planning, and be looking at places to put other stormwater flow basins that are higher elevation. And again, something I've repeated, but looking at a distributed sewer system up and down the coast instead of a centralized plant, because there are going to be problems with king tides and our pipes and our stormwater as well. So I suggest people go and watch the section on planning that was presented by One Shoreline. And I think we need to, as a special district, I think we need to be more involved. I noticed there were quite a few people involved, and they were all very well spoken. So I think it's an opportunity for us to maybe help get funding for the future projects that we're going to be undertaking. Thank you.
I will just respond briefly to that. I am vice chair of One Shoreline, and on the Bay side, it's mainly, a city's issue. The development standards are set by the cities. The cities often control their own sewers, et cetera. There are some standalone districts, but it's mostly the cities there. One of the reasons that One Shoreline is taking a look at the harbor is for that very reason, being that there may be funding that One Shoreline can apply to the issue of the harbor. People have to want that funding, want to participate in a collaborative process, to evaluate potential projects and the need. If there's no interest locally on the coast side, then, there's not much reason for One Shoreline's involvement. It's kind of like the Coastal Conservancy. We go where we're wanted. We're not going to go and create conflict, right? So the role of One Shoreline depends on, whether folks on the coast side, want involvement by One Shoreline. If not, there's, other uses for that money. So think about that one. Anybody else want to comment? Oh, Tim. You're muted, Tim.
It didn't want to work for me. We're hearing feedback a little bit. So I just want reminder, if you're not actually speaking, if you could mute yourself, because I am getting comments about feedback. Thank you.
Thank you for that. I don't see any other hands raised, so I think we can move on. So the next item would be the consent agenda. Are there any items that anyone wishes to pull? And if not, Director Dye.
Yes, I would like to see the minutes when we approve a large expenditure, because it's part of the agenda pack now. I would like to have it say where the funding would be coming from in the minutes. If it's an infrastructure project or it's, it doesn't need to be really detailed, but I'd like to see it include the fact that it's coming from the infrastructure budget or miscellaneous consultants or whatever.
Would you like to respond to that, Kishan?
Yes. That item which Director Dye is requesting is already mentioned in the staff report, which was discussed in the board meeting. And the staff report clearly identifies that the particular item funding is from infrastructure budget. That was for the first item. And for the second item, it clearly says that it is from professional fees. So did you want us to repeat that again in the minutes? Then
I don't see why not, because someone just might see the minutes without seeing what's before, and then it would just be easy to go, oh, okay, that's an infrastructure item. It's one little piece of extra information that I think could be repeated.
I'm guessing not many people are going to be looking at the minutes, but I'm not going to oppose
Never
that.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, as somebody who's done a fair amount of research, I always went to the staff reports before, at the agendas and the staff reports first. The minutes were easy to figure out. All I wanted to know was what was done. But how does this tie into the new policies for reporting minutes that we just approved?
Oh,
Well, we can provide as much details as possible in the minutes, but then Director Dye, being a finance person, is more interested in the finance part of it. Somebody else might be more interested in project management. So they might want to say, why don't you add the delivery of the items, how long it's going to take? So the minutes will become as large as a staff report then. I mean, that's what I'm afraid of. I have no problems adding it, but I thought since it's mentioned in the staff report, we shouldn't be duplicating the items. That's my personal opinion. But staff will be glad to make these changes if the board decides.
And so there, in the minutes policy we just approved, there's certain things that need to be included. But a director can always indicate that information that was provided is not in the minutes and should be. So that's preparation of minutes can vary in level of detail from agency to agency, but there's no problem at all with a director indicating, hey, this was talked about and I don't see it in the minutes and it should be.
I'm in favor of putting the onus on the director as we approve minutes about whether other things should be included beyond the policy that we have.
I just think it'd be an easy thing to, it's in the staff report, it would be easy to just indicate that it's an infrastructure project or it's, for anything over, the ones that we actually vote on.
Okay, we have no problems in adding that.
Oh, thank you.
Catherine, did you have anything further? Your hand was
No, I'm sorry. I need an automatic hand lower.
Well, while you're still there, would you like to make a motion on the consent agenda?
I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda with the changes suggested by Director Dye.
Second.
We have a roll call, please.
Director Dye,
Yes.
Director Lohman,
Yes.
Director Clark,
Aye.
Director Penrose,
Aye.
Director Slater Carter,
Yes.
Chair Ruddock.
Yes. We're moving on to item 4A, which is authorize the general manager to issue a purchase order to Pacific Water Resources for the purchase of one replacement pump for the effluent pump station at Sam Plant in the amount of $110,135.
We have 3 effluent pumps at the Sam wastewater treatment plant. And in the month of February, early part of this year, the board approved purchase of 1 effluent pump for the 3 pumps that we've already have. So that order is in progress. The submittals are being reviewed and manufacturing will soon start. I think manufacturing has already started for this, but the delivery would take place very soon. So that was in the last year budget of 21-22, but in 22-23 infrastructure budget, we also added the second effluent pump, and the budget was adopted in the month of June. And this item, which is the purchase of the second effluent pump for the wastewater treatment plant, is in the adopted infrastructure budget and is brought to the board now for approval so that we can go ahead and purchase the second effluent pump. Staff is here to answer any questions.
Move approval.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Director Dye?
Matthew has his hand up.
Matt?
I have just one rather inconsequential question. In the proposal, Pacific Water Resources said they will perform vitriol performance testing. What is that? Vitriol, or is it a typo? Do they mean virtual, or what is vitriol performance testing?
Let me see that. I didn't catch that.
Is it spelled VITRILE?
TRIAL.
Virtual, yeah, it is a typo. It's a virtual performance testing for the customer. So that they will perform the testing and we will be able to view it on Zoom or on camera and check it out rather than being present in person.
Thank you.
All right, could I have a roll call, please?
Director Dye?
Yes.
Director Lohman?
Yes.
Director Clark?
Aye.
Director Penrose?
Aye.
Director Slater-Carter?
Yes.
Chair Ruddock?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Okay. We're moving on to
Good.
item 4B. Report on use of SAM funds for employee wellness program and incidentals.
Yes.
Looks like Aaron Gilbert has his hand raised. Aaron, you're muted.
Hello, everybody. I appreciate you hearing me out tonight. I just wanted to say I'm very grateful for this opportunity that I've had to be at SAM this last month. Learned a lot. We've got amazing people there, all working together, working hard. I've been able to go out with the collections crew this last month, and we were pulling rope long distances on easements. It was a lot of hard work, but it was good. And at one point, Felipe Preciado was with me, and he pulled out of his pocket a little protein bar, and it was just perfect to help us keep going. And I was just very grateful that he was able to grab that from the front desk. I can't compliment the crew enough. I mean, the fact that, Tony and Felipe and Jose are able to take care of all the sewers from Montero to Half Moon Bay is phenomenal to me. I'm just amazed by them. The maintenance staff, the off staff, we all are working together, and I'm just very impressed with everybody. So I'm just very grateful for that. Very grateful for the treadmill. I used it today. I was very grateful to be able to have a spot to work out and get a little sweat in after my job and go home to my family. I don't have to pay for a membership that way. It's very useful and helpful. And I'm just want to comment that being able to have small snacks really means a lot to people. You know, little things here and there to show appreciation. They don't have to be high value dollars. Just the thought is what counts, in my opinion. And so just want to appreciate that there are snacks there are condiments, there are different things available to us. So I'm just very grateful for that. Yeah, thank you for your time.
Thank you. I'd like to let Kishan introduce the item first before we take other comments, if that's okay with everybody. So Kishan, could you start off this item, please?
Yes. Thank you very much, Chair. I have a short PowerPoint which I'd like to share with the board and the public, if I may. Thank you. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Very good. In the board packet today, in advance, we've actually added the Half Moon Bay review article and the product of the recent Public Records Act expenses that we sent out. So because of our commitment to transparency, we wanted to brief the board and community. First of all, we would like to appreciate the Half Moon Bay Review's diligence in reporting the article titled SAM Tensions Simmer Over Unusual Records Request in its September 14th publication. We were highly impressed with the balanced perspective of it. So in response to the recent article published in Half Moon Bay Review, we have put together this slideshow. And as indicated earlier, SAM appreciates the review's diligence in its reporting and the opportunity to provide its responses for the article. So the purpose of this presentation are multifold: to provide a briefing on the benefits of a preventative health and wellness program, to give the board members and the general public more information on SAM's employee wellness program, to ensure transparency on SAM's expenses. Of course, the board has known about this time and again when we've briefed them in several meetings, but I thought it might be a good idea to consolidate and keep the board informed, as well as the public who might have missed in some of the meetings. So what are the benefits of the health and wellness program? As we all know, better employee health. Who isn't health conscious these days? Everybody is health conscious. Reduce health risks. As they say, health is better than wealth. Less stress to an individual. More productivity. Improved work relationships. And all this finally leads to happier and healthier employees. That's what we all want. We want happy, healthy employees. We want happy and healthy children. We want happy and healthy parents. Everywhere we want happy and healthy people. So this, sorry. So as a part of SAM's health and wellness program, in 2021, SAM initiated a health and wellness program. SAM provided workout equipment that employees make use of during breaks and before and after work. We just heard that Aaron had used it after the work hours. Treadmill is obtained at no cost to SAM. The entire expenditure of $1906 for purchasing the treadmill was reimbursed by CSRMA as a part of the health and wellness incentive program. Now, as a part of the health and wellness program, SAM also initiated an agency-sponsored walking program, which is called Holy Guacamole. Now, if an employee accomplishes 90,000 steps within the first 15 days of the month, they collect a $5 Safeway gift card. If they amass 200,000 steps, they collect a $10 Safeway gift card. Safeway was selected primarily because it's a local grocery store. It has healthy food options, and for employees, this is a good part of the health and wellness incentive program. SAM also distributes health newsletters to all employees every month. We send it digitally, as well as hard copies are made available to the employees. We also have stretch and flex posters at the office, which enable the employees to carry out these stretch exercises and keep themselves fit at all times. We also distribute Fit Deck cards, which is basically a set of exercise playing cards. This is particularly suitable because of many SAM employees perform physical duties. They're out in the field for a majority of their workday. So the deck is convenient to carry out and practice. They can keep it in their trucks, refer to it whenever they have a little bit of time. And this initiative also helps reduce work-related injuries by promoting exercise and stretching. In fact, this is nothing new at SAM. This has been going on for many years. In fact, many years back, we distributed blood pressure monitors. We distributed Fitbits to employees to keep themselves fit. So this is an ongoing program. So CSRMA awarded based on the Employees Health and Safety Program submitted by SAM. It was recognized by CSRMA, and SAM received the Workers' Compensation Excellence Award in 2020-2021. This award is recognized by the California wastewater industry and has become a model for other entities in the industry to follow. The CSRMA award required an agency to have no low back lost time claims. And that was a prerequisite for us to submit the application. And this ensured that an agency has a good health and wellness program. So as a part of the reward that we got from CSRMA, CSRMA gave us $285 gift cards to each employee as an incentive for participation. Agencies who are qualified were given an award plaque and banner. This also supports the rationale for SAM's health and safety program in reducing risk of work injury, thereby reducing SAM's workers' comp costs and lost time, which is associated with any injury. Now let's look at the health and wellness program at surrounding places at different agencies. I just did a survey on a couple of agencies. I thought I could share it with the board as well as the public. We have Delta Diablo. They perform quarterly blood pressure checks. They give flu shots for their employees. Gyms or healthy lifestyle programs subsidized, and they provide about $27 per month maximum to each one of their employees. Health challenges, they have track points throughout the year and award wellness-related prizes on a yearly basis of about $100 maximum. And then we have Contra Costa County Water District. They have $5 gift card for every participant. And they have $25 gift card to healthy restaurants or grocery stores. They have gym membership subsidy, a one-time reimbursement of 100% for initiation fee, not to exceed $50. Then have a monthly contribution to monthly dues not to exceed $40. And of course, at the end of the year, they have annual wellness and safety fair with luncheon. But the cost of the luncheon is approximately $8,000. Based on 300 employees, it works out about $26 per employee. Oraloma, they offer 2 gym sites, and they have a trailer with fitness equipment is available 24/7 for their employees to make use of after hours or on weekends. They have a walking program. I do not have much details about it, but they provide gym membership reimbursement up to $76 per month. Then you have Central Marine Sanitary or Novato Sanitary District. They have a wellness safety incentive program that earn points that accumulate for cash every 6 months, ranging from $25 to $225. They're about 65 employees, and their budget is about $14,625. That's a cost up to $14,625 every 6 months. They also have gym membership reimbursement up to $76 per month. And here, our neighboring Montara Water and Sanitary District. They provide employee reimbursement up to $25 per month for all health-related items. And where are we? At SAM, we provide $15 Safeway gift card per month per employee upon proof of completed 200,000 steps in a month. And you see the total is minimal. So what's the conclusion? It is common for agencies to offer health and wellness programs, keep their workforce active and healthy. It is prevalent in all industries. It's nothing new in SAM, and it's been going on for quite some time at SAM. So what are SAM's priorities? Employee health and safety is the topmost priority for SAM. SAM's health and wellness program helps to improve employee health and well-being and to promote workplace safety. SAM is proud of the fact that there has been 0 injuries for the past 1,100 days. By reducing the risk of injury, SAM reduces its costs associated with workers' comp, lost time. Ultimately, it impacts productivity and service. And given small workforce size of SAM, it is particularly important to ensure SAM is able to meet its mission and service commitment. The health and wellness program also helps to build collaborative and nurturing culture, which finally leads to employee satisfaction and helps reduce turnover. Now let's talk about the expenditures on incidentals. Now, what are these expenditures we've been talking about, people have been talking about, public has been talking about, or it's been in the papers? These expenditures are for snacks like granola bars, protein bars, coffee creamers, coffee, tea, candies, which are standard office supplies. Now, the expenditures, what I've indicated in the previous slide, approximate about $1,200 per year. And this annual expenditure has been consistent during the previous GM's regime as well. It's not new. It's not that we've been practicing for 3 years. We've been doing that for several years, and we are able to account for it very well. We've got a code where all the food expenses are grabbed, and that approximates about $1,200 per year. So the $1,200 annual expenditure averages to about $100 per month or $25 per week. Now we have 16 employees. So what does it average to? It averages to $2 per week per employee. And the snacks, coffee, and tea are not free lunches. They are intended to cover instances of shift holdover. We have people working overtime beyond their regular hours, emergencies, and other instances where staff are needed to remain on premise to cover operational situations. For example, 2 weeks back, we had to cater to the PG&E requirement, wherein we had to ensure that the power is shut off completely, and we had to run the plant by means of generators. So we had staff to cover the situation. We can't just leave the generator on and staff is not allowed to go home. The clock beyond the normal hours, and we can't afford people to take breaks at that time, go over to a nearby store and pick up snacks. So these come in handy at such situations. So SAM offers these products to visitors such as vendors and contractors as a courtesy tool. So as Milton Friedman put it, there's no such thing as a free lunch. So what do we conclude from here? The cost of SAM's health and wellness program is fractional when compared to the cost of caring for injuries or extended absences, which ultimately result in loss of productivity, which is very critical given SAM's small workforce. SAM approach to health and wellness program is based upon other comparable agency research and was recognized by CSRMA as a model for other public agencies. The snacks that SAM purchased are to support operational needs, given SAM's 24/7 operations, criticality of maintaining the infrastructure, and which may result in shift holdover and other emergency work by staff. And staff are conscientious of the expenses. So as a general manager, ethics have always been of utmost importance to me, both as professional as well as being a general manager. That is why it was important to me the public knows what we do here and what we emphasize on. As a GM, I'm very mindful of doing things. These are small gestures that we do to support our employees. The costs are minimal compared to the work being carried out with maximum efficiency and at low cost to SAM. Decisions are always made using strategic goals made by the board. SAM welcomes all Public Record Act requests and have been servicing these PRAs as per the law, which was acknowledged by the chair in the newspaper article. We have complied with all PRA requests to date, and as demonstrated here, We fully support transparency and ethical decision-making, which is why it is important for me to provide this briefing to the board and to the community tonight. As a GM, I value and welcome community inputs on SAM's operations and expenditure of public funds. I thank the community for participating in this meeting tonight to learn about these initiatives, which I firmly believe were made in the best interests of SAM and to meet the mission of the organization. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kishan, for that very thorough presentation and informative too. I learned a lot. I could have done without the Milton Friedman BS, but that's okay. The rest of it was really good. I'd like to hear first from the directors, George, so if you can just hold on another moment.
No problem.
Director Penrose.
Yes, I just want to say kudos. Kudos to staff. Kudos to Kishan. It's wonderful that we are a productive, happy workforce with no injuries, but it is so important to me that we are a human agency. This, as Kishan put it, ethics are what are at play here. Ethics and morality. They're more important to me than anything else. And I think that Kishan and staff have demonstrated that they have their ethics clearly in a good place and that they are moral human beings and they are loving and caring of others. And it's not being done for financial reasons or despite the financial cost. It's being done because it's the right thing to do. So thank you, Kishan. Thank you, staff.
Thank you, Director Penrose. Director Slater-Carter.
You're muted, Director Slater-Carter.
Yeah.
Yikes. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I'm so seldom muted. I want to say that I want to thank the staff and Kishan and the board, because this stuff doesn't happen without the support of the board, for in the last 5 years bringing SAM up into the 21st century. This is the kind of staff and community where we are all together in this. I just recently saw a quote from Richard Branson. Sorry, Debbie, if you don't like him, but it said, if you look after your staff, they'll look after your customers. It's that simple. And in fact, I ran my business with that in mind. And I took some heat from others, but I still believe you treat your staff and yourself as if you're all on the same team. And I would say that the pronouns for SAM should be we and us, because as a SAM member, I'm only one of a very small, I am only one small part of a very large and capable team. And I'm very thankful for that. And I'm really thankful for moving us into the 21st century on equipment and personnel and technology and so many other levels. I particularly want to mention that at Montera, all of our employees have a smartphone, so they can be tied into our very digital and complex water system. And I am particularly happy that Kishan got technology so that our staff can communicate about problems easily and stay in touch with our highly technical system. It helps keep the coast a clean and very livable and very pleasant place. So you guys all rock. You know it. And I don't care about the healthy part. I'm still going to bring you cookies. So there.
Thank you, Catherine. And yes, that was a better quote. Richard Branson's quote was definitely likable. Any other directors? Okay, George.
As you know, my name is George Long. I've been an operator at SAM for 34 years. I happen to also be lucky enough to be the shop steward. So I'd like to also inform you that as a shop steward, in the contract, it says overtime meals allowance, and that's on page 10. And it basically says the authority agrees to either pay for or to reimburse the cost of providing a hot meal for any employee who works 4 or more consecutive hours overtime. And so that's been in the contract. And on the page 13, it also states that, wait, let me get back to that one. It states that the bargaining unit shall be reimbursed for a necessary meal of a hot meal. Basically, it says it doesn't have a dollar amount, but it does say 15% gratuity. So you can go with how much but usually we have, as Kishan says, where they provide food at the place there, because we usually don't leave the plant. And as anybody that lives here knows, the streets roll up at 10 o'clock. There's nothing open. So, and usually we're here way past 10 o'clock. So, but also I'd like to make this more feel good. Thank you for all your help, and the board members. I know it's a hard job you could just do, and it's thankless and all that, but you guys have been really good seeing the problems at SAM and really trying to take care of them. And I appreciate that as a member of SAM. Thank you.
Thank you, George, and thank you, Aaron Gilbert, who commented previously. Anybody else would like to comment this evening on this item? I just want to say I think this is a good reminder of the contract that we have with our employees, and it's not just a written contract having to do with the labor MOU, but that we honor ourselves as a team, that we depend on each other in situations that can be real emergencies and require excess effort. Beyond the normal 9 to 5, and that we want to support and be part of a caring workplace. If you want a non-caring workplace, there's plenty of those out there, especially in the private sector. But we're a public agency and we're about people. The service we provide is basically people, and we have to take care of our people. So I think this was an important item to have and to see in the information and to discuss. We do have a high quality staff, and our general manager has been given high marks on ethics. So this may not put to bed, any concerns people have about spending. We're gonna, face those on an ongoing basis, and we want to commit ourselves to being careful and transparent, and where we can, thrifty, without harming the environment and harming our people. So, but I think this was a good informational item. And if nobody has any other comments, Keishan, I see you're unmuted. Did you want to say anything else before we close?
No, I'm fine. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to present the SAM's program and communicate to the board as well as the public. I'm really grateful to the board for giving this opportunity. Thank you.
I just want to point out for folks that there are a couple of items that Michelle Dragony has posted in chat having to do with resources regarding the subject. So if you want to see those, they're in the chat there. Okay, so we're moving on to the general manager's report, item number 5.
The complete report is there in your packet. So if there are any questions, staff is here to answer any questions.
Any questions for staff? Any questions among the public? I see Director Dye, you have your hand raised.
You're muted.
So there were some PG&E, well, no, there was an independent contractor that was parked on Alhambra by Portola. And I just went up and said, hi, hey, what are you doing? And he said, oh, we're a subcontractor for PG&E and we are cleaning out the sewer lines. And I said, really? Yeah. He said, yeah, they get roots in them and stuff. And so we're here cleaning them out. I said, you're not just figuring out where they are so that they won't impact the existing, the gas lines that you're going to be replacing, which is what I understood that PG&E was doing with all this work they're doing in the streets. They said, oh, no. We talked to the people from SAM all the time and they know all about what we're doing. Are they really going in there cleaning out sewer lines? It just seemed like such an odd thing for them to be doing or to say they were doing. Anyway, I see Tony's here. Is PG&E cleaning out sewer lines for us? And to your knowledge?
No, not to my knowledge, but I know they were doing some CCTV thing, and they had informed the GCSD office. I remember there was something going on between your office, between GCSD office and PG&E. That's how we came to know that they were trying to capture the lines with their roots and all that. So there's some study going on, but Sam is not aware of it.
Yeah, GCSD is not aware of it either, because I asked. Anyway, I just wondered if you knew about that.
No, we don't know anything about it. Tim, would you like to add anything to that, Tim?
I just got a message from Tony. He didn't know anything about it. I didn't know anything about it.
Seems like an odd thing. I know our collections people from SAM do a great job of taking care of the sewer line. So this is, no way a criticism, was just really a question because I was reading about, the various things that you guys have attended to in the GCSD area, which seemed, one of them says PG&E contractor broke the main line and the crew repaired it. So I just curious as to what PG&E is really doing there.
On that one, that PG&E where they broke the main line, it was super irritating and it was a big time suck for staff because everything was clearly marked where they were. PG&E's out. I believe they're replacing the gas services.
Yes, that's my understanding.
Yeah. So what they'll do is they'll go out and they're televising some of the lateral lines so that when they're doing their underground boring, they don't accidentally go through something. At least that's what they're supposed to be doing. So we had everything clearly marked and their contractor just had his head somewhere and just went right down the line and took out like 2 or 3 laterals on one thing. And then in another incident, they did a very similar thing. So it's just sad. But everything we had, Tony and the guys, they marked everything really well.
I have complete confidence in our crew, but please don't misinterpret what I was saying. I was completely surprised that they were saying that. Anyway, I just wanted to comment on that part of the manager's report. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Dodd.
Oh, and is this where right now the CIP project status is in the manager's report?
It is not directed. If you remember, there was a request from you to put it in the consent agenda along with the financials. That's why we moved it there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, can I just make one comment, which is, there's 4 different pages of it this time, and it's a little confusing. If you could just put the labels on, make it a little better, because 3 of them are the same, and then there's.
Are you talking about the manager's report?
Well, I'm talking about the CIP project report. So my apologies for not bringing it up during consent. But I think it's an excellent report. I'm not in any way criticizing it. I'm just saying if you could make the labels a little clearer. And
maybe you could share your comments in an email offline.
That's what I'll do. That's better. Thank you. Sorry to take the time.
Anybody else? Okay, we can move on to the attorney's report.
Yes, thanks, Madam Chair. No specific attorney's report tonight, but we do have some closed sessions when we get to that stage of the agenda.
Okay. Any director's reports? Okay, any topics for future board consideration?
Yes.
Barbara?
There's been a bit of back and forth in the review and so forth on recycled water. And I know that at one point we had kind of a task force on that and so forth. Can we at a future agenda have an update on what, if any, participation or involvement in this issue would be appropriate for Sam? Something I'm interested in, and I feel as if we should maybe be doing something. I'm not sure. Is that an appropriate agenda item for some time in the next few meetings to just talk about pros and cons and the status of looking into recycled water issues and, you know?
I would like to recommend that we schedule perhaps having Mary Rogren from the Water District to a SAM meeting. They are in the process of pulling together a study that my understanding is would look at, you know, a full range of possibilities for recycled water. And they came to the city and wanted our support. We were very clear that this was a role for all of our partner agencies. So the city wants to support it, but you know, Sam needs to be a part of it, and you know, the individual member agencies. Now, not everybody might want to help pay for, you know, recycled water, but the fact is CCWD is moving forward as a lead agency, if you will, to pull together data and to be a lead on securing financing. So I think the appropriate item might be to have, you know, the water district in, maybe to make a presentation. I don't know what the status of what it is they're working on, because there's a lot on their plate. You know, there's a lot of water issues. But I think if we scheduled something for late October or early November, have them in and you know, have a discussion of, you know, potential roles. So would that suit you?
Absolutely, that'd be great. I've actually asked them 2 or 3 times if I could have a tour and figure out what they're doing and learn more about their operations, and they have said that they are too busy. So it would be nice to have them come in.
I do see that legal counsel's hand is raised. Jeremy, you have a comment?
Yeah, yes, I do. Thank you. This isn't purely legal, but it's about recycled water just because it's an area of personal interest to me. You know, it is hopefully the water district is aware that, you know, recycled water projects without recycled water, without sewage don't go very far. And that was actually a critical path for Santa Clara Valley Water District. They had all sorts of really very robust plans for large indirect potable and direct potable recharge projects, and didn't quite consult the city of San Jose beforehand, and found themselves without enough recycled water, without enough secondary treated effluent to be able to go forward. So it really is a conversation that needs to happen sooner rather than later. So Chair Ruddick's idea about having them come and, you know, take questions. I mean, there's things that Sam has to think about too. They have to think about what facilities are needed. One thing that some agencies do is a recycled water master plan. Ideally, you do that in conjunction with your partners, right? And so you kind of study different sides of the question. But anyway, I just wanted to put that out there since it seems like it's a topic that interests people, and you know, it's something that does require coordination.
And absolutely, you know, Sam needs to be a partner in this. So, and we've communicated that. So I don't think there's any question there. So maybe our second meeting in October we can shoot for. That gives them, you know, 2 or 3 weeks to prepare something.
I don't have a deadline, so I'm glad. I think that makes perfect sense, and I would like to see something like that happen.
Yeah.
There is a lot of money out there for recycled water right now, and that just so happens that, you know, the timing is not bad.
And you know, probably both agencies need to be going after the money.
You know, I can check with Mary from CCWD to find out if they're ready to give us a status update or something at the SAM board meeting. And one other thing I'd like to share is we have a new operator who's grade 5. He's got tremendous experience in recycled water. He's worked with recycled water for many number of years. So we have the expertise in-house who can help us with a lot of stuff.
Sounds good. Catherine?
Muted.
You're muted.
Remembering how much money we have already spent on recycled water. I think that, but also with the information that's coming out, and Debbie, I hope we can work with you on this one shoreline to be looking at sea level rise and future plans to protect the coastside, in particular our sewer and water systems. Before we get too far involved in this, I really want us to know where SAM is going. If we're going to stick with a single centralized unit at possibly right in the sea level rise zone, which is where the plant is right now, that this may be something we need to wait on, and it may have been a very useful thing that it didn't go forward in years past because we have more knowledge. And I like the concept from one shoreline of looking in the long-term future to be making these plans. There was a quote today, and I didn't write it down, but it said, if we build this expensive infrastructure without planning, we're going to be paying for it and redoing it all over again when this stuff hits. And I think that's the short term is always alluring, but the long term planning is what the community needs. We're in the dire straits right now because people weren't doing the long term planning years back.
Yeah,
So,
and I think one thing that has to happen is there needs to be a review of the previous, recycled water report against current conditions. So, we previously had a plan to, have one aeration basin as a backup, and we were going to locate various stuff in different locations. A lot has happened since 2017. Are the recommendations of that particular report consistent with, our current situation? If we're using an aeration basin now for something else that we might have used for that, that's no longer, available for recycled water. So, what has changed since that report that, challenges recommendations in that report? Our situation has changed and needs have changed, and our infrastructure is worse off. We have to move probably the electrical system, et cetera. So you're right about that. Things have changed in 5 years. And the most recent report we have just might not, meet our needs anymore. So we would want to review that as well, before.
And the water situation has gotten much, much worse. So.
Yeah. So we need a sort of a broader brush, assessment of where we are and what's going on. So Keishan, if you could, take a look at that report too, and maybe do an analysis, to be ready about the same time that we're hearing from CCWD. Because following that meeting, we're going to, want to, create new agenda items to deal with this. And we want to have as much information updated as possible at that time, I think.
Okay. Look.
Now, I just wanted to say one thing I think would be useful for ourselves and the public. It's an expense, but I was thinking it might be helpful to have like a visual tool, an online visual tool of all the plant components that would be clickable and would call up, information like, when was this item installed? When was it replaced? What's the maintenance routine on it? Just to have something, easily accessible where we could, with a click of the computer, see the status, like the aeration basin. When was it last, resurfaced and put in? Just a matter of, getting a handle on our, our deferred maintenance, if you will, our depreciation. It might be, handy to have a tool like that just to see, where the plan's at. Would require some effort, probably a consultant, but I was thinking I'd love to be able to access something like that. Just throwing it out there. Maybe for discussion on some future agenda.
Yeah.
Okay. If there are no other topics for future board consideration, I think we'll adjourn to closed session. And we'll say good evening to most of you.
Thank you and good evening.
Have a good evening.
Good night.